Hey guys, welcome to the season 14 review. And finally, after I think 7 seasons, we have got to a point where we have not won the title. It's gone to Arsenal. James George was just amazing. If you've seen the last video, you'll see he scored two hat tricks against me. One in the I think one in the League Cup and one in the league, and he was just unplayable sometimes. Um, but yeah, it goes to Arsenal. So I think that's like the first Premier League they've won in 20 years, 21 years, something like that. So well done to Arsenal and Villa, Bolton and Norwich getting relegated. As I talked about in the last video, Norwich did not earn a single point all season. Played 38, lost 38. Didn't even get into double figures with their goals for. One of them was against me. I am thoroughly embarrassed. But a negative, I cannot, I've never seen that ever. And if you've seen anything worse, please say, because that is the worst I've ever seen. That is in no way edited. I've not gone into the database or anything with that. That is incredible. So you got 8 goals all season, 130 conceded, no points on the board. Well done, Norwich. You've achieved the impossible there almost. Anyway, going back to Liverpool here, as you can see, too many losses in the end. Not enough really good enough form, and we got 100 goals, which is always good, but too many goals conceded as per previous years. 36. That's quite a lot compared to what we have been usually conceding. West Brom there in seventh, and Man United in sixth, and City in fifth. They've actually sacked their manager. Mancini left, which is quite something weird. I think I talked about. Mancini left, and Pochettino came in, who's an Argentine guy. Pochettino. For those who have very good memories, or if you don't know, I'll just tell you anyway. Pochettino is the guy who brought down, I think it was, or at least gave England the penalty in the 2002 World Cup. You may remember if you've ever seen that, the David Beckham penalty in Japan. I think it was in Japan or South Korea. He scores the penalty and he runs over and he grabs hold of his shirt, the three lines, and he's bragging it everywhere. He's like, yes, going crazy. That was that. He gave away that penalty. He's 60 now, Pochettino. So yeah, he's the Man City manager. But I do believe he is going to get sacked, or has been sacked. And it is, at the end of the day as well, a final. And you might find this hard to believe in case you don't know, but Mick McCarthy was the Arsenal manager. He's now retired. He retired with a Premier League win. I suppose the only Premier League win he's ever will get. Only ever come close to being the Arsenal manager. But there you go. The game rates him very highly. And yeah, that's how they've done it. 94 points, only losing twice. So fair play to them. And as I talked about, James George, absolutely unbelievable player. Steve Jones, formerly of Chelsea. Man United bought him for, I think, the Australian guy. Yeah, they bought him for 26.5 million, getting some very decent goals for Manchester United as well. 12 and 14 with 5 assists, pretty damn good. He was at Man City at one point as well. Good lord. Wow, he's been done the rounds, hasn't he? Phil Knight, who's a beast for Newcastle. Billy Young, who scored against me for Blackburn. Jerry Moore, though, happily getting in the top 5 for the average rating, but I'm sure you don't care about any of that. How have we done in other competitions and stuff then? So let's go from February. How did we do against Brighton then? I'm sure you want to know. Firstly, FA Cup fourth round, we won it very nicely. Kadlec with 2. Alonso with a penalty, Alaba and Langeveld also getting goal. Actually, no, I'll show you that goal. It's an absolute beast of a goal by Langeveld. He thumped it in. He's one of those specialist defenders, the Daniel Aggers or the I'll just use him as Daniel Agger. When you get forward, they can twat a ball like nothing you've ever seen. However, we lost to Porto, at least in the knockout. I was going to say we lost to in the drag out. Another missed penalty. No Goetz missing a penalty. Could have drawn us level. It was 3-2 at half time, and that's how it stayed. But he could have put us level, and we could have had the 3 away goals, and we could have been leading in the tie. But unfortunately, he never. Goetz we had a great start as well with him, but it was 2-1, and then they got 2 quick goals. Eric Torres, an utter pain in my arse yet again. He's unbelievably good. He died away for a few years, but he's back now, and he's certainly put it into me there. But one good thing against Arsenal, we did beat them in the FA Cup. I think they played a slightly I know. Well, I don't know. I don't think they did. I mean, he's played Ayew, they played George, they played Verhoeven, they played Comper, who's an extremely good keeper, one of the best goalkeepers on the game. Um, that's not. I thought it was Billy Attenborough for a second. Then I was like, what? But yeah, they were quite defensive. They actually no, they weren't quite defensive. They were very defensive. George thankfully had a very bad game, very rare. But you see the goalkeeper, look at that. That's how close we came. But Sadler with the goal came on as a substitute quite late on. Jose Enrique Perez was the man of the match. So a little bit of good fortune there against Arsenal for us. We got them out of the FA Cup. And then we played City 2-0, beat them. Goetz and Moore with the goals. So Goetz slightly having more of an effect now. Let's go over the stats again. As you can see, the strikers were poor. Thomason had a poor game. That's, how these games seem to be weighed at the moment. Loss against Tottenham, unfortunately. They can't beat Tottenham at the moment. And that went even worse as... check this out. Right, okay. Caratazzolo put us in the front. So that was 3-3. And at that point, because of away goals, we were going through. I want to show you this goal. Bartomeu Silva, 93rd minute. Check this out. I was about to celebrate and say, yes, we're going to win on away goals. We were going to go through, play one of the big teams, and then a big hoof up the field. 93rd minute. That happens. Imagine that. 93rd minute, and you're out the Champions League. Knocked us out. 4-3 they won. Couldn't believe it. I mean, we should have scored more, to be honest. We weren't terrible at any point. I mean, Moore had a bit of an off game. But, yeah, we should have scored more. Simple as that. So, we're out the Champions League at the knockout rounds. Very disappointing indeed. But then again, we played Leicester in the FA Cup 6th round, so we got to Wembley again. On to the semi-finals. Wheeler and Motta with the goals. And then this happened against West Brom, and this is where we lost the league, to be honest. A shocking game, an utterly shocking game. And it's yet again another American that scored a hat-trick against us, Ryan Bergen, with a very nice weird hair. Unbelievable game. This guy had 5-1. It's one of the worst defeats ever at West Brom. It's another defeat at the Hawthorns. I cannot beat this team at the Hawthorns. I don't know what it is. Egan had an absolute shocker. So too did Caratazzolo. Langevel's poor. Goetze, no impact at all. Motta did alright, to be fair to him. Garfanini was quite poor when he came on. But Bergen was just playing out of his skin. He got a hat-trick. He could have had more. He missed a penalty. And I was very annoyed. I yelled at them and screaming. And I was going crazy. But we recovered slightly and we beat Blackburn in the FA Cup semi-final. Fredinho with 2 and Acosta finishing off there. So we could still win the FA Cup. Nope. It's another defeat. It's twice in a row now I've lost out at Wembley in the FA Cup on penalties. Perdue putting them in front with a penalty, Fiera then equalising. This team was very poor again. Caratazzolo got sent off. I think that was the main problem. The team wasn't very poor. Ramirez was outstanding, but Caratazzolo got himself sent off. That killed the game for us. Stone dead. We looked like we were about to take the lead, and then Caratazzolo got himself sent off. Acosta gave away the penalty a few minutes later, but we went to penalties. And for those who, before we I want to take you back then very quickly. I'll talk about this Man United game. Even though we did beat Arsenal 1-0, Fiera with the goal, that wasn't enough in the end. They'd already won the title at that point, but I'll get to that in a moment. If I take you back to last year's FA Cup final against Tottenham, we lost on penalties. I can't do that, unfortunately. Okay, never mind. If you go back and you see Pedro Acosta, he unfortunately was the one who let us down and missed the penalty. He done it again. Imagine that. It was great. We were about to it went to sudden death. Davide Santon with the goal, and then Acosta missed. Imagine that. You lose at Wembley. It's your fault. You messed up the last penalty. Another year comes around. You're at Wembley again. It goes to another penalty shootout. You step up. You have to score to save your team and keep them in it. Imagine if that happened in your life. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Like, if you've been in 2 consecutive finals and you've lost it twice through the same fucking player. But goodness me, Pedro Acosta cost us twice now the FA Cup. But yeah, we had a really good run after that West Brom game. culminating here basically in this. This weekend here, this was the penultimate game against Man United. Jan van der Plas, who's one of the great regens I've seen, very good player, and it came to this point here where if we had to win, we couldn't draw, we couldn't lose, we had to win. If we win, and Arsenal didn't win, which I don't think they did actually, but if Arsenal didn't win and we won here, we would take it to the final day, which was against Arsenal. And it would have been amazing actually if I would have done a live commentary that if that was literally going to be whoever wins the title. But Man United did them a favour and beat us. So so there you go. A trophy this season. I haven't had one of them in a while. Haven't won anything this time. Out in the final of the FA Cup, coming second in the league, out in the Champions League knockout round, and out in the FA Cup. In the League Cup, I should say, at the fourth round. We're getting to Arsenal. How annoying. About the transfers, I don't think I brought anyone in. No, I have not. That's it. Yep, no one brought in through the transfers. Looking at the squad though, I've got a few positives. But overall, Fredinho with 24 again. He's got his typical 20 goals. Moore with 20. Vieira with 13. Hasley-Endon with 10. Goet's impact maybe his light is slowly going away. 30 now, as I say. I don't know, only 8 goals this season, not that great. A few positives though, if I just go over a few positions here. Ramirez again doing outstandingly well. Robbie Egan, as I say, he's a good option, put it that way. Novello, very good find for me now. I've finally been able to bring him in and he's established himself into the first team. Ali Valencia is also come good. Langeveld also coming very well. I've got Junior Shimpi here also as another option. Harvey, not that great a player, but he's good to have. Massari and Motta are two hopeful Italian centre mids, doing very well indeed. Motta with a good 6 goals, and I'm very hopeful with these two that they can establish themselves as the two main centre mids in the future. Alaba handy as ever. Ericsson didn't get that many games this season. I just didn't. I don't know. I couldn't play him. He was never match fit. He only played seven times, and he was never match fit for me. So I was like, well. And I've got these youngsters now. I've got Alonso, Massari, Motta. Harvey's only young himself. So I was like, well, I'm going to play him. Alonso did well. Guyan also doing well. He's only 24 himself. Hasley got 10 goals. Going to be using him more. Garfanini did quite well after his season-long injury last season. Of course, he broke his cruciates. Lescott, I'm probably going to sell on. He's not quite good enough. He's not versatile enough. I like versatile players. He can only play in centre mid. When I bought him, he was only an attacking mid. I mean, how many? That was ignore that green there, MC. That was all where he could play. Now, where am I supposed to play him there in a 4-4-2? I couldn't, so I'm probably going to sell him on. Quite not good enough for them, but he has an FA Cup final appearance to him, so fair play to him. And then we've got our strikers here. Jalilija will be leaving. He wanted a new challenge, which was good for me, as I wanted to get rid of him anyway. So Jalilija will finally be on his way. I think he's in the reserves now. He's just rotting there for a few months before he goes. I think I'm going to actually get his contract's up. So his contract is up. He wants to leave. Everyone's a winner. So Kadlecher's just signed a new contract. I'm just going to keep hold of him just because I can, just to have him there as an option. I may sign a new striker, although I doubt it. I'm doing very happy here. I don't need any more strikers. I've got Hasley though to come in. And yeah, I've got Goetz. So this is how my strike force looks now. I've got Goetz, Kadlec, Fierro, Moore, Fredinho, and Hasley. That's plenty. So I've got a few pods now. I've got a young team to come through. I think that my lack of depth in midfield, I think, was the problem this year. Obviously only playing inexperienced players like Massari, Motta. Ericsson wasn't fit enough usually. Alonso very inexperienced. Guyan pretty injury prone. Harvey is not that great. I mean, he's good to have, as I say, but I think he just needs to develop his game a bit more. And I think I was a bit too happy putting Robbie Egan in, who's not that great a player. I mean, he played 9 appearances. I mean, I think that's enough. That's not that much, but when I've got players like players like Perez Say there. And Valencia, who I think is better than Egan, I probably shouldn't play Egan as much, and Valencia will probably become the second choice, or maybe even the first choice right back. I don't think he'll get ahead of Perez, will he? But you never know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So a disappointing season. Then we haven't had one of them for a very long time. Will we bounce back next season? Only one way to find out, and that will be to tune into the season 15 review. Good lord. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get to that. No, I'm only kidding. Of course I'm going to do it. So I'll be back then. I'll see you then. Bye bye for now.